you can count on us. This is 7 News Good Morning Fort Sill.
Well, good morning and welcome to your Friday edition of Good Morning Fort Sill. Before we get started, just a quick heads up before we go over to weather. If you are getting ready to head on post and you travel along I-44 between Rogers Lane and Cash Road in Lawton, a semi struck one of the overhead signs and blocked most of the roadway. Well, we do have a reporter on scene now. It's recommended that you take a different route if you have to take I-44 there. Now let's go ahead and kick it over to weather. Still, again, like this week, Michael, it's been pretty mild considering we're already into almost like middle of November.
Yeah, it's still pretty mild out there, and that will continue to be the case as we go into the weekend until that front comes in tomorrow afternoon and evening. Well, currently at Fort Sill, it is 55 degrees. We're seeing clear skies, and winds are generally light, anywhere between around 0 to 10 miles an hour. And for your PT forecast, generally low 50s for the most part, and then we'll get to around 60 degrees by 9 a.m. And you can see we did have a few upper level clouds that moved through earlier tonight, earlier this morning, I should say, and that's going to continue to push off into the eastern portions of Oklahoma. Not seeing too much out there. There is a weak front that's moving through the area, so that's why we're seeing those 50s across the area. Comanche Nation Entertainment Tower can be pretty quiet here in Medicine Park with clear skies. Yesterday we had a high of 79 degrees, still well above average for the time of year. Our low of 50 is still well above average at 8 degrees above what we should normally be seeing. And then we've seen a high yesterday of 81 in Wichita Falls and Frederick, 83 down in Vernon, 84 in Graham, 78 in Elk City, 82 in Altus, and 78 in Chickasha.
Well, concerns are mounting today about chaos at numerous major airports as airlines are forced to cut back on the number of flights. It's all because of the government shutdown and airport staffing concerns. Airlines say that passengers on canceled flights will be notified, but how this all plays out remains up in the air. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has the details.
This morning, flight reductions at 40 major airports are beginning to take effect. The FAA has ordered airlines to reduce flights at so-called high-impact airports by 4% this morning. That will gradually increase to 10% of flights by next Friday. Airlines not following the rules will be hit with a $75,000 fine per flight over the limit.
This is going to be huge. So on a given day in the U.S., there might be 100 to 200 flights canceled. This is going to be 4,000. And mind you, it's not just canceled flights. Because of these canceled flights, there's going to be thousands more delays as well.
The FAA says the air traffic reduction is needed for safety because of the shortage of air traffic controllers and TSA agents during the government shutdown. They're being forced to work without pay, and many are calling out sick. American Airlines beginning today will cancel about 220 of its 6,000 daily departures. Delta is canceling 170 per day, and United fewer than 200 per day through Sunday. Multiple airlines are offering refunds and free changes for impacted flights. And while travelers are frustrated,
my sister and I both were planning on going there and flying to Raleigh and surprising our parents. So it was definitely, disappointing.
Airport workers are struggling.
When I call out, I tell them the truth. Can't afford childcare. This is enough to hold over for maybe another week.
Another major issue during the shutdown is government food assistance. A federal judge yesterday ordered the Trump administration to provide full SNAP benefits to states by today. The administration had previously said it would use emergency funds to only partially fund the benefits. The administration is appealing the judge's order, once again leaving nearly 40 million people who rely on SNAP benefits in limbo. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Well, it's Veterans Day weekend, and there are plenty of events taking place across Southwest Oklahoma to honor and celebrate our veterans. The Lawton Fort Sill Veterans Center on Flower Mound Road is holding their Veterans Day ceremony today at 10 a.m. in their auditorium. That's also where the 3rd annual Steps Under Stars and Stripes Walk will take place. Volunteers will be carrying the U.S. flag around the walking trail outside that facility for 24 hours straight, beginning at 1 p.m. today. The closing ceremony for that event event is tomorrow at 1 p.m. It is free and open to the public. AmVets Post 11 in Duncan will be hosting their Veterans Day Parade at 10:30 a.m. tomorrow on South 10th Street. Here in Lawton, VFW Post 1193 will host their monthly Feed the Community event from noon until 3 p.m., offering a free meal with turkey, ham, and more. And of course, Veterans Day is on Tuesday, and there are even more events happening on the big day itself. Kicking things off Tuesday morning is the City of Lawton's Veterans Day celebration, starting at 8:30 a.m. in front of City Hall, followed by a free breakfast. At Cameron University, they will honor veterans with a free meal starting at 10:30 in the morning, running till 1 in the afternoon at Shepler Cafeteria, followed by a ceremony at the conclusion of that lunch at 1 p.m. And the Comanche County Veterans Council will hold their Veterans Day ceremony at 11 a.m. at the Patriot Pavilion at Elmer Thomas Park. Rounding things out is the Comanche Indian Veterans Association 49th Annual Veterans Day celebration and powwow from noon until 10 p.m. at Watchtaker Hall Complex. And just a reminder that the Disabled American Veterans is holding a Veteran Appreciation Fund Drive from today through Veterans Day on the 11th. Donations can be made in person at the Golden Corral in Lawton. So tons of events. I'm sure there are plenty more that are going on that we don't have information on. But if you have info about an event that we haven't had coverage on yet, please email us at news@kswo.com. Well, MacArthur High School hosted a Veterans Day program yesterday to honor veterans working within the school and community. Veteran family members of the school's JROTC cadets and leaders from Fort Sill were invited to the program, which served to recognize and honor their service to the nation.
I believe that it's important to show our veterans how much we truly honor what they've done, the sacrifices that they've made. We here, thank you for your service often, but we wanted to do something tangible for them, give them an opportunity just to kind of sit and be recognized for what they've done for this country.
Well, they appreciate everyone who helped organize the event, from the support from the community, also Mayor Booker and the veterans who came to the celebration. And dozens of volunteers gathered at the Fort Sill National Cemetery in Elgin yesterday to help prepare the cemetery for Veterans Day. They all worked together to place flags throughout the cemetery. Each flag was placed in honor of the more than 10,000 veterans that are buried there. And cemetery officials say that they're proud to pay this small tribute every year.
It's great for our kids to recognize and see some of the things that they normally don't see. We tell them this is a hollow ground area, that they need to be very respectful, and our kids are amazing when they come out here. Before we come out, I always show their video about Veterans Day, what it means to be buried out here, and a lot of our kids have military-based families.
Of note, volunteers will also be needed for the recovery of the flags, which will take place at 9 a.m. the day after Veterans Day on November 12th. Taking a look at a few other local events, the Oklahoma Department of Veterans Affairs is partnering up with Custom Suits and Life Skills to host a suit giveaway event. It will be held on Monday at the ODVA headquarters in Oklahoma City from 9 a.m. until noon. Each veteran who attends will receive a professional suit at no cost, so it's a pretty good deal. All veterans are welcome. Supplies are limited, and distribution will be taking place on a first-come, first-served basis. And Christmas is just 48 days away in Shepherd Air Force Base. It's calling all kiddos and the young at heart to grab their pens and paper and send a letter to Santa. Supplies are available at the marketing building. The office will be open from 8 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon, Monday through Friday. All letters should be returned by November 25th to make sure it gets to the North Pole. Santa's reply letters are expected to arrive at the beginning of December. Army, Air Force, and Navy all have good football matchups this weekend. We'll take a look at the upcoming Academy games after the break.
Get ready for your day with the First Alert 7 app. When the workday is wrapping up and you're ready to start your evening, get your news first. The first look at what's happening in your community.
First responders in Jefferson County worked to extinguish a semi-truck fire.
Your first look at weather approaching Texoma.
We're just going to see dry conditions, mostly sunny skies.
And your first glimpse of impacts for your day ahead.
A new scholarship program is coming to Oklahoma State.
You can even watch on the 7 News app from wherever you are.
Right now I'm here at 2nd and F.
Don't wait to see the news that affects you. Know first with 7 News at 4 p.m. Here's your first alert forecast with meteorologist Michael Amanqua.
Well, good morning, everyone. We're seeing temperatures generally in the 50s, mid-50s right now, with the exception of our far southeastern counties. There is a weak cold front that is currently moving through the area. That's going to knock our temperatures, especially our high temperatures, just a few degrees today. But currently, it's 55 in Fort Sill and in the Lawton area here, 55 in Anadarko, 54 in Chickasha and in Duncan, 65 in Waurika. You can see low 60s in our southeastern county, 64 in Jacksboro, 62 in Graham, 52 in Monday. Looking at where we were compared to 24 hours ago, generally a little bit warmer, but overall today maybe a degree or two cooler just because of that front moving through the area. The relative humidity value is a little bit higher in our eastern counties, so you may have noticed your car is wet with some dews. That is to be expected. And wind speeds are starting to pick up right now anywhere out of the north behind this front, anywhere between 5 and 15 miles per hour. We're seeing sustained winds up to 18 in Elk City. It's a little bit windier in our western and northwestern counties. And you can see that front currently moving through the area. That's not the big one that we're expecting. The big one that we're expecting is currently in the northern plains. It's already past the Canadian border, and it will continue to make its way towards the south as we go throughout much of today. And it actually be a little bit quicker than what we're expecting. It may come around during the afternoon hours on your Saturday. You can see the current look of the upper levels right now with that main polar jet stream here to the south, and we'll continue to monitor the timing of this cold front in the coming hours.
Well, all 3 service academies will hit the football field tomorrow. Navy will be in the national spotlight. The 7-1 midshipmen will take on the 10th-ranked Notre Dame team. The Fighting Irish have won 6 straight games and look like a good bet to reach the college football playoff. Navy is a heavy underdog, but if there is one area where the midshipmen might have an advantage, it's with their ground game. Navy leads the nation in rushing. Their triple option offense will be a big challenge for a Notre Dame defense that has struggled against the run this season.
I mean, it's a lot. You don't go against it every day. I mean, it's difficult. They're good at what they do. I mean, I remember my first time playing against it. It's so much faster than what you think it's going to be. I think the past 3 years for me has helped, and it'll slow the game down. So it'll be a great challenge, but I'm very excited.
It isn't one where you can have a whole bucket list of calls defensively because they do so much, and it's a unique offense that you're going to have to make sure your eyes are in the right spot. And so you're not going to have your normal call sheet that you would going into a game where you're playing with, quote unquote, a typical offense.
Navy hasn't beaten Notre Dame since 2016. Tomorrow night's game is scheduled for a 7:30 start time in South Bend, Indiana, my home state. Well, Army, fresh off a huge win over Air Force, will be back at home tomorrow. The 4-4 Black Knights will host Temple in a big American Conference matchup. That game is set for 11 a.m. Air Force is out west. The Falcons will return to the Mountain West Conference play against San Jose State. Kickoff will be at 5 p.m. Still to come, the Trump administration is reportedly considering strikes inside Venezuela as the U.S. military hits another alleged drug boat in the Caribbean. Your international military headlines are next on Good Morning Fort Sill.
Get ready for your day with the First Alert 7 app. When the workday is wrapping up and you're ready to start your evening, get your news first. The first look at what's happening in your community.
First responders in Jefferson County worked to extinguish a semi-truck fire.
Your first look at weather approaching Texoma.
We're just going to see dry conditions, mostly sunny skies.
And your first glimpse of impacts for your day ahead.
A new scholarship program is coming to Oklahoma State.
You can even watch on the 7 News app from wherever you are.
Right now I'm here at 2nd and F.
Don't wait to see the news that affects you. Know first with 7 News at 4 p.m.
Well, the U.S. military has conducted yet another deadly strike in the Caribbean. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth said that Thursday's strike targeted a boat in international waters that was allegedly trafficking drugs. 3 people were killed in the attack. Since September, the U.S. military has killed 70 people in 17 strikes that have destroyed a total of 18 boats. The attacks are part of the Trump administration's campaign against suspected drug traffickers. Some members of Congress and human rights groups have criticized the strikes. And the Senate voted against a bipartisan resolution aimed at keeping the Trump administration from taking military action against Venezuela without congressional approval. 2 Republicans, Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky and Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, joined Democrats to vote for the resolution, but the measure ultimately failed 51-49. Meanwhile, the Trump administration told lawmakers that the U.S. is not currently planning to launch strikes inside the country. The administration says that it doesn't have a legal justification to support attacks against any land targets right now. An opinion produced by the Justice Department's Office of Legal Counsel was used to justify strikes against suspected drug boats, but lawmakers were reportedly told that legal opinion does not allow for strikes inside Venezuela itself or any other territories. The Trump administration is reportedly trying to get a separate DOJ legal opinion, which would allow strikes against land targets without needing to ask Congress to authorize military force. Well, the U.S. Army's Joint Task Force Bravo transported food and supplies on Blackhawks from Kingston to from Jamaica this week, working alongside Jamaican Defense Force personnel. JTF Bravo and the 1st Battalion 228th Aviation Regiment have transported over 165,000 pounds of food and supplies across Jamaica to provide immediate assistance to those impacted by Hurricane Melissa. The 228th, based out of Soto Cano Air Base in Honduras, conducts missions across Central and South America, as well as the Caribbean, in support of security operations, humanitarian assistance, and disaster relief. Well, a suspicious package was delivered to a U.S. military base in Maryland on Thursday. Sources say that the package contained an unknown white powder and caused multiple people to fall ill. A statement from Joint Base Andrews said a building on the base was evacuated after an individual opened a suspicious package. An initial field test did not detect anything hazardous, but the investigation is still open. Several people were transported to the on-base medical center after the package was opened. Joint Base Andrews is, of course, a major military installation that's just outside of Washington, D.C. The base houses the 89th Airlift Wing that's responsible for transporting the president, vice president, and cabinet secretaries while traveling on official business. Air Force One and other VIP aircraft are kept at the base about 10 miles from the White House. Well, a luxury watchmaker in Belgium is making special watches to mark history. The D-Day watches are fashioned from recycled World War II helmets and backpacks, and also sand from Normandy Beach. Watchmaker Cole and MacArthur gets the authentic materials needed from a military memorabilia trader in Texas. The helmets are cut into round pieces. The watch straps are made from U.S. Army backpacks used during World War II. So this is pretty cool. It features a small capsule of Normandy Beach sand. You can see the watch dial displays a historical map of, you can't see it right now because the video's not on there, of Omaha Beach. The pieces are called Normandy. There we go, Normandy 1944, and they're being produced to order and come in 2 versions. These are pretty cool. I may have to look at getting one, though they are only $700, while a premium legacy edition goes for $1,700. Less than 2,000 are being made. That is pretty neat. Well, actress Angelina Jolie made a humanitarian visit to the front line in Ukraine as part of a non-governmental mission on Wednesday. Jolie, a former special envoy to the United Nations Refugee Agency, said that she visited medical facilities in Kherson, the largest city on the war's front line. It's been described as a ghost city after years of war. Photos show Jolie was playing with children and greeting local officials. And a national nonprofit which helps veterans repair and improve their homes is celebrating their 25th anniversary. House for Heroes Incorporated hosted their 25th anniversary gala in Columbus, Ohio, the same city where the organization started. In 18 states, their volunteers have repaired and improved the homes for 2,400 veterans.
There are heroes around the world that fought in wars they didn't choose, and they've suffered the same things that our troops feel, so that it was named House of Heroes, Inc. for a reason, so that it can be duplicated around the world.
I really do love organizations like this because there are plenty across the United States. Around the nation, $24 million worth of work has been done at the homes of military and public safety vets. Free to them. The event was about reflection, recognition, and looking ahead to the next 25 years for House of Heroes. In Iowa, veterans who died during World War I, World War II, the Korean War, Vietnam, and the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan are being honored. On the campus of Western Iowa Tech College is a display of dog tags bearing the names of those killed in action. Visitors can use a lead pencil and a piece of paper to make a rubbing of the names on the dog tags, then learn about that person's story and how they died. The president of the Vietnam Veterans of America Northwest chapter says that he doesn't want these names to be forgotten.
There's a saying, if you do not say their name, let's say you look up there and you see a person's name and you don't say it, he's forgotten. But if you say their name, everybody knows it and he is remembered.
Some of the other information includes maps of World War I and who was killed. For World War II, the display has statics detailing how many people were killed.
Alert forecast with meteorologist Michael Amanqua.
And a last look at your PT forecast. Temperatures will be in the lower 50s, and then we'll be rising to the upper 50s and then near 60 degrees by the time you get to around 9 to 10 a.m. this morning. As that front comes in tomorrow, we're going to have wind gusts between 30 to up to 36 miles an hour. And the time frame of this is showing around between 2 to 3 p.m., so a little bit earlier than models are predicting. And wind gusts will still be up to the 30s, 30 plus mile per hour, even as you go into your Sunday. So if you have any weekend plans and during the afternoon hours on your Saturday and Sunday, keep that in mind. Looking at Friday morning, the front that's pushed through this morning will continue to push towards the southeast. Mostly clear skies for Friday, but then as you go into your Saturday, we're going to have clear skies once again. And then there is that front. This is the one that will give us the cooler air. Look at the time frame. Around 5, 6 p.m. is already to the south of Lawton near the Red River by this time. It could be even earlier than that with the latest model runs. Fronts like these tend to be a little bit quicker than what models predict. And then as you go into your Sunday, it will be windy, but we'll have mostly clear skies. These fronts will come through pretty much dry. A high today of 78 degrees was mostly sunny skies, and winds will be out of the north anywhere between 5 and 15. And then going into tonight, we'll have a low of 45 degrees, mostly clear skies. Winds will be switching to the east at around 2 to 5, and then eventually to the southwest during the morning hours. And then we'll have a high of 75. That will be in the early afternoon hours, right before that cold front comes in. And then our temperatures will continue to drop, sustained winds at 5 to 20, with gusts as high as 30 to 35. Looking at your 7-day forecast, we continue to have well below average temperature on your Sunday and your Monday. Look at those highs, 55 and 56 on your Monday. And then as you go into the rest of your week, your Veterans Day is looking pretty nice with a high of 73 degrees, warming up into the mid-70s by midweek.
Well, thanks for watching Good Morning Fort Sill. You can check the 7 News app today for the latest updates and breaking news.